Mega Shark in Malibu. It's a fucking waste! Ugh. That was not a Mega Shark movie. It wasn't. It was nothing. It had nothing to do with Mega Shark. No part in the whole movie could have ever even been compared to a Mega Shark movie. It had nothing to do with it. The Megalon wasn't in the movie. Where was the Megalon? This was not Mega Shark. It was shit. What's wrong with the movie, you might ask? Well, let me explain. Okay, basically, as far as the film is concerned, like, for number one, you know what made the first two movies so special? It was like, the first two movies were just so bad that they were really funny, and they were intentionally bad. That's what made them good. No, I can't believe this myself. It looked like they were actually trying to take it seriously. Why? Why are they trying to take it seriously? It's like the idea of Mega Shark is that you're supposed to not take it seriously. I mean, I suppose I should have seen this coming. Why? Well, one simple reason. This movie was not done by Asylum, which is the company that made the first two movies. This movie had nothing to do with Asylum Pictures. If it had something to do with Asylum Pictures, then it would have been so bad it would have been good. Because most Asylum Pictures are, you know? But this movie was pretty crap, if I'm honest. But basically, let's go through it. Like, the CGI, for one thing, it's horrible. It's like, Mega Shark vs. Giant Octopus and Mega Shark vs. Crocosaurus, they have worse CGI, no doubt about it, but it was intentional, and it was funny. This CGI looked like they tried to make it the best that they could make it look. They tried to make it realistic. And it really nailed down on how crap it looked. I'm just going to review this movie as seriously as I can here, right? As in, this movie was meant to be taken seriously, so I'm going to be serious about this. The CGI looked horrible. It did not work in any moment whatsoever. It just looked terrible. It was like, they clearly tried to make it look real, and in their efforts, it was half-assed. They weren't trying to make it look bad. I mean, you look at it, and it looks like they were trying to make it look good. And if that's the case, it looks fucking terrible. Worse than New Moon. Worse than Power Rangers. This was shit. Granted, not as bad as the first two Mega Shark movies, but they were supposed to be bad. But anyways, next point. The characters. Generic. Yeah, what the fuck was I expecting? Generic characters. They were all the same old bullshit. Like, you got the big, handsome, jock kind of guy, who's one of the guys that works as a lifeguard at the Malibu beach. Then you have this blonde slut who's like she looks like the really popular girl, like, I know you didn't, sort of shit, and she's having community service, and of course these two are going to get together by the end of the fucking movie, there's no doubt about it. Then the other characters were just there. As far as the acting was concerned, most of it was pretty standard, nothing much. The jock guy he had one tone to him throughout the whole fucking movie, he had nothing to him. The women, standard, and sometimes went really bad, but standard. There was this guy who got engaged to one of the lifeguards, one of the women, and his performance, in no matter what tone he did it in, he was terrible. One moment he's jumping for joy like a little pansy, like, oh my god, I just got engaged! And then the next moment he's just like this. I'm so depressed. No. It's on Tommy Wiseau's level of acting. He's trying to convey one emotion, but instead he just has this one fucking expression on his face. Granted, his voice isn't anywhere near as funny. Then the rest is meh. Then there's this other guy, this construction worker, who has this look on his face throughout the whole movie. Just that. That's it. He just had that look on his face. The whole fucking movie. There was nothing else to this guy. And he was whenever he did open his mouth, for the most part, he was a prick. And I just didn't like him. But what else was there? I mean, this movie was just... I mean, as far as it was concerned, you know, why was it called Mega Shark? Why? By any term, why was it called Mega Shark? Mega Shark wasn't in the fucking movie. Instead, we get goblin sharks. 6 goblin sharks. Even that wasn't awesome. If the movie was called Goblin Sharks or some other fucking title, I probably wouldn't be bitching as much. I'd still be bitching, but I wouldn't be bitching as much. Because it's like, there are so many things that I could think of that actually could have made this movie better. And I'm actually going to tell you what could have made this movie better. I mean, this movie was meant to be taken seriously, and by no means did any of the suspense work. It wasn't scary, nothing about it was proper. And I'm going to tell you what would have made it work. This is it. If they hadn't shown the fucking sharks. If they didn't need any of that stupid CGI. If they hadn't shown the sharks, then it would have worked. Like, yeah, show the fins popping out of the water, because when they did that, at least, you know, it was like, it was plastic. Yeah, it was obviously plastic, but at least it was there, you know? Don't show the sharks underwater. That would have led to more suspense, because they always showed the shark and then they would cut to footage of some diver, you know, on his own, and you know he's going to get picked off. No suspense was held, and it just wasn't scary by any means. It was clearly meant to be taken seriously. But how can you blame me for being surprised by this? Look at the box! Does this look like a movie that was supposed to be taken seriously? No! It was not! I was expecting at least a fun movie. I was expecting to get a couple of laughs out of it, you know? But I got nothing. Instead, I got a movie that was trying to be serious, but it wasn't. Now, I'll give you this. Despite what I'm showing right now, I didn't hate this movie. It wasn't one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It's no Pokemon the first movie, it's no Blade Trinity, but it was still pretty bad. I mean, if it wasn't called Mega Shark in Malibu, if it was called something else without Mega Shark in the title, then it would have helped, you know? But the fact is that they were clearly trying to do this properly, try to make a suspenseful thriller. The characters weren't developed properly. I never really cared for any of them, and it just didn't work. Let me try to describe it to you. Imagine Snakes on a Plane, right? If you took out Samuel L. Jackson and tried to make the retarded moments, you know, a bit more serious. Imagine Snakes on a Plane like that. That's Mega Shark in Malibu. That's pretty much it. I mean, the premise to this movie could have worked. Like, there was a tsunami, it's flooded, they're stuck inside this hut, and there's a bunch of other people that are stuck in a construction site, and of course they're trying to help each other out, you know? But the sharks are swimming around them. That was a good premise. But it was not suspenseful. It wasn't anything. It was... The word, to put it simple, it was disappointing. It's not Mega Shark. It is not like that. Fuck it. It is not a Mega Shark movie by any means. In fact, this should have been called something like Goblin Sharks or something like that. Chances are I probably wouldn't have watched it. It would still be a bad movie, but it would have been better than calling it Mega Shark. That's the fucking point. But you know what? I can't fucking stand this shit anymore. I'm gonna go find another movie. Stupid fucking movie. Alright, what else is there to watch? Lockjaw? I'm gonna need help with this one.